Hello, my name's David Tripp, and I'd like to talk to you about white male privilege. I had someone tell me off for my white male privilege, so I told them, "You can't know someone else's privilege. If you're in the West, you're privileged. If you have money, you're privileged. If your parents Hello, my name is David Tripp, and I'd like to talk to you about white male privilege. I had someone for my white male privilege, so I told them, "You can't know someone else's privilege. If you're in the West, you're privileged. If you have money, you're privileged. If you have parents, you're privileged. If you don't know someone who died of cancer, you're privileged. The difference is you can look at my skin and gender and say I'm privileged, but because of your shadow game, I can't tell whether you're privileged or not. So fine, white male privilege, and about 100 other privileges that people have over others that make them bad people for some reason." I think it's used by people to guilt trip other people for being born the way they are, and it's separating people based on race, which is something we're supposed to be moving away from. So ultimately, I'm a little confused by people who are so avidly against racism as they claim, who yet still want to oppress people with their racial ideas. I mean, you can't talk about race if you're white. You can't talk about sexism if you're a man. You can't address issues if you're not ultimately inside the little clique of not a white male privilege. It's separating people. It's driving people apart. It's putting wedges between people where there shouldn't be any. I mean, I totally understand that white people don't get shot by the cops as much, or all these other things that happen to be fortunate for white people and unfortunate for other people. But to focus in on one privilege and just say that you can judge someone who's a stranger or that you barely know about, like, you have to judge their entire life if you want to judge someone. You have to be basically omnipotent through time. You have to go back and have a timeline of all these different things that have happened to them and understand each and every one of them. You can't just you can't just do that. You can't just look at someone's skin color and say you know them. That's racism. And saying and accusing someone of having white male privilege is racism and it's sexism. And I don't see it any other way. I'm sorry. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.